Welcome back to the Steve Gruber Show. Glad you're here for the conversation. My next guest started a movement. I mean, we talk about movements in this world. You know, start the movement, join the movement. He started one, and he sustains it today. It's the Walk Away campaign. Brandon Straka is here. Brandon, nice to have you back on the program.
Great to be here. Thank you.
This is a true grassroots movement, founded by a former liberal, yourself, dedicated to providing a place to share walkaway testimonials and personal journeys to freedom. It's inspiring, it's exciting, and it's extraordinary. And more recently, we've seen some big versions of walkaway. Elon Musk, Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, and just this week, Gloria Romero. She was the Democrat majority leader in the Senate in the state of California, and she said, I don't recognize this party anymore. What am I doing here? I mean, this is extraordinary, isn't it?
Beyond extraordinary. And you know, I started Walkaway 6 years ago. I certainly was not the first person in the world who left the Democratic Party. But I think what was different, you know, you started by saying it's a true grassroots movement. That's what I wanted to do, because when I left the Democratic Party just over 6 years ago, I knew very well, I learned very well what it means to lose friends, family, job opportunities. I mean, I truly lost more than 90% of my friends. And I went through a very lonely year after making the decision to walk away.
Wait. 90% of your friends abandoned you because you decided your political opinion had changed as you became an older adult. They abandoned you because you didn't remain in their bubble?
Exactly. Yeah, because we've become so divided in this country that most Democrats believe that to support the Democratic Party means that you support progress, that you support marginalized people, that you care about, you know, the downtrodden classes of people in this country, which is all an elaborate facade that the Democrats hold up, which bears absolutely no truth whatsoever. But they believe that if you leave that, it's because you're abandoning those principles and you're abandoning those virtues and being that kind of person. So they'll turn on you and attack you, much like leaving a cult. I say this all the time. Leaving the Democratic Party is not unlike leaving a cult. And so, yes, over the course of the first year when I left, I stopped getting invited to parties, barbecues, birthdays. People stopped returning my calls, my text messages. They started unfriending me on social media, and much worse. I had people going on social media and posting saying that I was on drugs, that I'd had a nervous breakdown, that I had joined a cult. I mean, you name it. It got very, very nasty. And some of this even came from members of my own family. And so I thought to myself, it's really a shame that there isn't a network or a community of people who can support one another as they make the decision to leave this party and go through this together. And that's why in 2018, I launched the Walkaway campaign.
Right.
And we exploded out of the gate. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people joined this movement. And now, if you look across the landscape 6 years later, like you said, Elon Musk, Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, so many more. Misha Maynard, Georgia State Rep Misha Maynard. She walked away last year and contacted me. And now she's a part of our movement and what we're doing.
You know, here's what's remarkable to me, though. You just mentioned it. Hundreds of thousands of people have gone to your website, have understood the hashtag walk away, become part of this movement. And it is a movement moving away from the Democrat Party, not necessarily to become a Republican, but away from the Democrat Party and its failed policies to something better. But here's what's weird. The compliant media, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, whatever. If Liz Cheney comes out and endorses Kamala Harris, that's front page news. But these other high-profile individuals, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, says, I'm no longer a moderate Democrat. I'm supporting Donald Trump. He just gets villainized. Liz Cheney gets celebrated for being a sellout, and these other folks get, well, they become villains, don't they?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, look at what's happening to Elon Musk. Look what's happening to so many other very high-profile defectors from the Democrats. And then look at that on a smaller scale. That's what's happening to day-to-day Americans too, as they make this same decision. At least Elon Musk has a giant profile and a lot of supporters and a lot of money, and I think that he's probably able to some degree to kind of hover above a lot of the hatred that's happening to him. But I mean, if you're a common everyday person living paycheck to paycheck and just getting by, and you have people at your work and people all around you attacking you and like you said, villainizing you, it's very disrupting to somebody's life to go through something like this. And that's why I think it's important to have that support.
Well, let me
and that's
talk
what
about-
walkaways provided people.
Yeah, let me talk about some of the numbers that I'm seeing here in America in 2024, because this is important. As they try to sell us the idea that Kamala Harris is winning, and they continue to try to manufacture this idea that there's all this enthusiasm, and for somebody who has this weird fake accent and the things that she's doing are just strange. I'm looking at registration, Republican registrations in Ohio, in North Carolina, in Georgia, in Arizona. Republicans, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, registration surging for the red team, not the blue team. So not only are people leaving being Democrats, and that accounts for some of it, but first-time voters are becoming Republicans looking at what the Democrats are offering. That's just simple fact, isn't it?
100%. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think people are seeing too, we often hear people use this phrase, well, I didn't leave the party left me. And I know that a lot of people on the left are feeling pushed at least to the center. Some of them are feeling pushed past the center by how extreme the Democrats have become. But for many people, myself included, joining the Republican Party, I think, has felt like joining a team that's a part of, the antidote to fighting back against the radicalism that has become the political left, the Democratic Party, because people recognize, we've got a real epidemic in this country of lack of truth, of divisiveness, of destroying our borders. There's a real cancer that has invaded our culture from the political left, and people want to be a part now of fighting back against it because they want to save our country. And I think that's why so many people feel now that in the past they might have said, you know what, the Republican Party is not for me, but the Republican Party is changing too. Under the leadership of Donald Trump, this MAGA movement, it's become much more of a diverse, open-minded, big tent party that I think there's a place for everybody on the right now, and I think people are feeling that.
Well, Brandon, the Republican Party has become the party of working people, of people that are in the struggle to make it every day. The Democrats become the party of big donors, big pharma. Everything that Robert F. Kennedy said is exactly what the Democrats have become, and it's a disappointment. It really, in fact, it's heartbreaking. Whoever thought you'd see a day where a major party in America has elevated a person to run for president and won't let them do a single interview, hide from the cameras, don't answer questions? I mean, seriously, how embarrassing.
Well, and the Democrats have become, I think, the party that is that has the policies and principles that are completely antithetical to everybody who used to be their heroes. I mean, look at what Martin Luther King Jr. Used to espouse, and then does it match up in any way? Are the Democrats the party of people who judge people by the content of their character and not their exterior? Exactly the opposite. The Democrats judge everybody and divide everybody based off of the color of their skin, their gender identity, their sexual orientation, you name it. And so now we've got a candidate running for office who was not democratically elected, who was installed by Democrat elites, but she checks those exterior boxes. She's kind of not Caucasian, I mean, she's a person of color. She's a woman. And that's all they really care about. They don't care if she knows anything. They don't care if she's qualified. They don't care even what policies she might represent. She seems to not represent anything.
When you talk about privilege, Brandon, when you talk about privilege, Kamala Harris is the poster child of privilege. Two wealthy, successful, accomplished parents, grew up in Canada and California. She is the definition of privilege. That's a fact. Brandon Straka here, founder of the Walkaway campaign. Where do we go from here, Brandon? What's going to happen? I mean, she's the definition of privileged, and yet, to be fair, I don't think she's capable of answering these questions. I don't think she can perform. I think that when we get to the debate, she's going to have real trouble because she actually has to fill 2 minutes of time and explain positions and policies. I don't think she's capable because, to be quite honest, she's not that bright. And I'm sorry, but that's just the truth.
Well, Steve, I happen to agree with you, but I think the problem here is that they don't seem to care whether she's very bright or not. Right now, the Democrats are running on, they may not be saying it out loud, but they're running on exactly one thing, is that we must defeat Donald Trump at all costs. They believe that they're, fighting evil or fighting Hitler in some kind of way. So it simply does not matter if she goes out on that stage, doesn't answer a single question, doesn't put any policy forward to the American people that makes any sense or has any, cogent, comprehensible understandability. It's just, she just has to show up, essentially. And I mean, because right now, it's the same thing with Joe Biden. Nobody voted for Joe Biden because they wanted Joe Biden. People showed up and voted for Joe Biden because that's how much they hated Donald Trump. So it's a very sad statement about where we are right now. She doesn't have to do a great job at the debate. They don't care. They simply want a warm body to show up to fight Donald Trump, and they're all going to get behind that person, whether they're qualified or not. It makes no difference.
But there's 6 or 8% in the middle, Brandon, as you well know, that are not going to get behind that, which is why Joe Biden got the hook and was sent into exile because he failed on June the 27th. Right now, the numbers are back to pre-debate area of where Joe Biden and Donald Trump were before the debate. If Kamala Harris performs poorly, which is entirely possible, in fact, probably likely, and I don't say an epic failure, but just poorly, and can't answer questions about policy because she's never been tested. Donald Trump's out there every single day getting pounded with questions. So J.D. Vance out there every day, pounded. Tim Walz runs from the questions the same as she does. I think that you'll see an erosion of support again like you saw after June the 27th. I don't think the Democrats have done themselves any favor. And the real trick here then is parlaying that into wins in the Senate. In Ohio and Pennsylvania and Michigan, where the polls are now tied with the challenger Republicans in the race, Montana's going to go red. West Virginia's going to go red. It's incredibly important to me that if Donald Trump is to win, that he can hang on to the House and control the Senate and then act with urgency for the first 18 months and correct some things that have happened. What say you?
I agree. I mean, going back quickly, I agree with you with the comments with the debate. I do think that she'll be prepped well enough that she'll be able to go out there and say a few things. But yes, it's going to be very revelatory at the debate. And I've been saying this for a long time. Once she has to stand toe-to-toe with Donald Trump and try to answer questions, I think she's going to fail before the American people. And I do think that we're going to see the shift finally, since she announced and they've sort of manufactured this illusion of energy behind her. We'll finally see that. But to your point, yes, everybody out there right now needs to be doing everything that we possibly can. And, going full circle back to Walkway for a moment, we're actually launching our state chapters across all of these swing states. And we're going to be getting out, knocking on doors, making phone calls, talking to everybody in the center, moderate Democrats, letting them know that there is this movement called Walkaway and that they should join the ever-growing population of people who are walking away from the Democratic Party right now. The time is now to save our country, and this is what we have to do.
Walkawaycampaign.com. If you want to find out more, if you're listening or watching this right now, walkawaycampaign.com is Brandon's website. By the way, if you have a great story about leaving the Democratic Party, you can do a video. You could win $10,000. I see that here is your testimonial video challenge. I mean, that's pretty cool. You can win $10K, right?
Really cool. So yeah, we started Walkaway as a testimonial campaign, encouraging people to make videos and share their stories. We have a Facebook group, #WalkawayCampaign. Our group grew to over 500,000 people, and then Facebook just banned it in 2021 for absolutely no reason, with no explanation. But we do have a new Facebook group now, #WalkawayCampaign, that people can join. They're also welcome to go to our website, walkawaycampaign.com. But it's true, we're running a contest between now and mid-October. We're going to be giving away $10,000 to the person with the best walkaway video. So if you have a story, whether you've told it in the past or not, anybody's welcome to enter if they have a truthful and heartfelt story to share. Just go to our website, walkawaycampaign.com, sign up for our contest, and read all the rules and share your story. We're giving away $100 to the first 50 people to enter. And then and on November 1st, we're going to announce the top 3 people. Grand prize is $10,000.
Every election of my life, Brandon, every presidential election anyway, I've been told it's the most important election of our lifetime, maybe ever. This time it may actually be true. This time it may actually be true because we have a clear choice between totalitarianism and Democrats who want to do wage and price controls and decide what car you drive and what food you can eat. Or you can have freedom and liberty on the other side with a guy who maybe puts out some mean tweets but knows how to run the company, right? I'll give you the last word here. How important is this election to you?
It is the most important election, and it's not that that's ever been untrue. I think every time we've ever said that, at that point in time, it was true. And at this point in time, this time it's true. And the reason why is because the Democrats are becoming more extreme. They are becoming more radicalized. And so every time we have an election like this, it is the biggest and most important election in our history. But now I truly believe that we are at a crossroads. If we are not victorious in November, I feel very strongly that we will never be able to pull America back and right the ship. We must win. We don't have an option. So everybody needs to do everything they possibly can to ensure that we have a victory in November. I highly encourage people to go to our website, walkawaycampaign.com, support what we're doing, check out what we're doing. We are the largest national movement of former Democrats leaving the party, and I want to get hundreds of thousands more to walk away before November. So check us out.
Brandon Straka, I really applaud the work you've done. It's important in saving a republic. It truly is, and I appreciate all the hard work, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All right, Brandon Straka there. What a story. And what a campaign it turned out to be. It is a grassroots movement. This is the Steve Gruber Show. You can find out about what we're doing at stevegruber.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Truth Social, Rumble, all of those places, and get exclusive updates by subscribing to the Steve Gruber Show on Substack.